Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I claimed on numerous occasions that the Russians are fighting with about 5% of its potential, military potential, at least 5% of its, how do you call it, human resources potential. That is, you have 100 fighters and you fight, let's say, with five. Okay, about 5%, I would say. And Putin confirms, I think, what I said in the personnel area. Now, it doesn't mean that the Russians have about 30 million AKs prepared for the Russians to invade Western Europe or Europe in general, or if they have enough airplanes, tanks, and everything else to conduct an offensive with 30 million people. Why do I say 30 million? I say 30 million because that is the minimum human potential that Russia can muster to a general mobilization. So if Russia tomorrow says we have to defend our motherland, fatherland, sisterland, brotherland, they potentially can get at least 30 million people to fight. Let's say it's a situation as it was in the Second World War, the Operation Barbarossa, where they put everybody to fight. The same here. If they want to put everybody to fight, at least 30 million. So why are they fighting with about 600,000 people? Well, let me show you. We have here a statement coming from Vladimir Putin, the president of the Russian Federation, from Sputnik. Putin says 600,000 Russian soldiers currently in special operation zone. Now that's why he or the Russians don't call the whatever happens, the war, I would call it, in Ukraine a war, but they call it a military special operation, because for them a war would be a general mobilization. That's what they would call a war. Now, euphemisms and however you want to call certain situation, it doesn't negate the fact that there's at least 600,000 people with tanks, airplanes, missiles, submarines, warships fighting against another country. Now, I don't think this is really a military operation, but I think it's 5% of the Russian potential, human potential. So let's read further and see what Putin claims. He is in Kaliningrad, so I don't know if he made this claim while he was there. St. Petersburg. Oh, oops, he returned or something? What date is this? It's 16 minutes ago. So today is the 26th of January 2024. So he must have been, he left Kaliningrad. It seems like he's way back, on his way back. Currently, there are a total of 600,000 Russian soldiers in a special operation zone, Russian President Vladimir Putin said on Friday. So this is on Friday, today. And I'm quoting, probably there are issues that require additional attention, solutions. Something always needs to be adjusted because the combat zone is long, almost 2,000 kilometers, 1,200 miles, and there are over 600,000 people in the combat zone, Putin said during a meeting with students participating in the special military operation. Now, you see this? When you say is over 600,000, I will revert back to my, I don't know, arithmetics. And I remember when you have, I'm going to use certain terms that probably are not the terms used in arithmetics here, even though in college here I had to take arithmetics. But nevertheless, so I can remember the terms. But you remember when you say 1 is smaller than 2. Now 2, right, is greater than 1. Right? So it's one thing. And the other one is with a parenthesis. Remember when you have in graphs, and not only, sometimes you say this value is bigger, greater, or equal to that. greater or equal, or equal. It's round parentheses or square parentheses, depending on what the situation is. So you would know when you have, I don't know, round parentheses is with equal and greater, or whatever it is. Here, when they say is over, that means it's 600,000, and everything, any number greater than 600,000 qualifies. So if I say it's bigger than 600,000, it could be 600,001, or it could be, let's say, 1 billion, because it's greater than 600,000. So I don't like when these guys say that's over 600,000, because when you say that, you don't say between, you say over. As I said, 600,001 qualifies in the statement as equally qualifies as, let's say, 30 million people. So when he said it's over 600,000, obviously we think 620, it's close to 600,000. But it's also he can leave the door open to say, I never said it's 620,000. I said over, and 2 million is over 600,000. So if someone will come and challenge and say, actually there's 2 million Russians fighting over there, military personnel, he can, yeah, I didn't lie. I didn't say there were 600,000. I said over 600, and 2 million qualifies as a true statement that it's over 600,000. So this is the point again. The Russians come and say it's 600,000. Now, if you want to fight a war with 600,000, could be, I would think, at least two reasons why. One, you have a plan in a controlled war, which your plan is not really to go and roll over, if you can, or you can't. Maybe this is your technical ability to support no more than a little bit over 600,000. So that is, even if the Russians, let's say, would mobilize 3 million, their potential impact on the front would not be increasing from, let's say, 600 with, let's put it 6 million, so we can make it 10 times bigger. It's not going to increase 10 times. Just because you brought 10 times more people, it doesn't mean that the effect on the front will be 10 times greater. It could be the same, or really could be a little bit changed, but the casualties will increase. Therefore, at home, he's going to have a problem. So maybe he keeps the 600,000. He says, this is our comfortable number of people and potential and fight here to achieve our goals. And since the Ukrainians are incapable of destroying us, we are just going to grind down their sponsors' ability to give them their population, who supposedly will rise up and freely protest this garbage, and little by little we're going to destroy the Ukrainians, and we're going to go forward without having too many casualties that could be used as an destabilizing factor at home. The same with the economy, because if these guys are trying to say, oh, that's 5 million Russians killed, your new generation is wiped out. Oh, you see lines in buying bread or buying, I don't know, milk or anything like that. You have a very bad economic situation. Plus this, you're going to have a lot of Russians being angry at you. And being angry at you, those guys can activate the little cells they have in Russia. And on this general atmosphere, they can always create a little revolution over there. It's easier. So keeping 600,000, I think, is the manageable, fits their plan, whatever that plan is. As I said, maybe just slowly grinding the opposite side and advance slowly with minimum casualties. For what? For propaganda and for themselves as well. And they're always able to replenish 100,000, 300,000. They're organized. It's a revolving door over there. They always, rotate personnel. They take them out, bring new ones, bring these guys in, take the other guys out. Ukrainians are doing the same thing, but Ukraine has less military power, and not only technical or in terms of weapons, but also manpower. So 600,000, it's for them a special military operation, is not a war. And the reasons why I think this is only at 600,000, even though he concedes, Putin concedes here that because the combat zone is long, he says, and there are over 600,000. You don't have enough tanks, you don't have enough power, or it would be useless. Like you attack, useless just to come over, these guys are going to decimate you. Remember, once you make a decision, you can't take it back. So there is, once you start attacking the tanks with, I don't know, spears, you can't, and you got your people decimated, you can revive them and start over. Oh, my bad, let's start again, like in a, I don't know, in a game. So 600,000. We'll see. We'll see. So far, the Russians are not losing, and according to these guys, or at least their interpretation, they are not winning because, they were supposed to win in 2 weeks. Remember, Russia is not fighting Ukraine. It's fighting Ukrainians, but it's fighting NATO. NATO is not one country. It's the United States of America with its vassal states. So keep that in mind. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.